Jai Hind everyone, welcome to the Patriotic IAS, and now we are going to start our discussion on the Hindu newspaper analysis. One of the most important news that is covered on the first page is this Aditya L1 mission, and this has been in the news for very long. So we have to cover all this thing, and first of all, we should know where it is relevant for the UPSC, particularly in the area like GS paper 3. It could be relevant for the GS paper 3 mains as well as prelims, because the concepts such as Lagrangian point, this halo orbit, and particularly this atmosphere of the sun, or the conceptual area where the UPSC can ask the question, and particularly the relevance, significance, importance of this L1 Aditya mission is a probable question could be for the mains. We will start with this Lagrangian point. Already we have studied that what is Lagrangian point. Again, I would like to repeat because this concept is a bit. Lagrangian point is particularly a few position or the point in the space of the three body system. This three body system in the space could be any celestial body like the sun, earth, and a satellite here. So a satellite here or here or here, anywhere. Okay, let's see here. If this satellite, this point is particular at this position, there is always force, gravitational force from this massive bodies like the sun, earth, or any celestial body. They always attract the masses or other body towards themselves. For example, whenever you throw something in the air, it's come back due to the earth gravitational force. So this gravitational force is applicable in space. If a point is here, there will be the gravitational force from the sun as well as earth, and whoever will dominate, wherever the force will be more, the body will be attracted toward that particular body. So this is also a third body. This is the first, second we can consider. So if the sun has greater gravitational force, this particular third body will be attracted toward the sun. If earth, this is the second body, if it has greater gravitational force on this point, this will be attracted towards earth. But there are some points in this space where this force from the sun and force from earth equate each other. At that particular point, this particle will have the stability, and it can rotate in the same system as the earth sun system rotates. Earth rotates, revolve towards the sun. So these points where the gravitational force of the sun and earth equates to the centrifugal force of this third body is known as the Lagrangian point. So in simple words, just you should know that the force from the sun and the force from earth will cancel out each other at this particular point. This point is known as Lagrangian point. Lagrangian point. There are 5 points, such points where this force of one body and second body cancel out each other on the third body, and this follow the path of these two bodies, this without the very little force, and that's why the fuel is less consumed. This is the benefit. So earth and sun system has the 5 point. Let's show you these 5 Lagrangian points in picture. So this is the sun, this is the earth, this is the Lagrangian point 1, L2, L1, L3, L4, L5. Okay. Aditya mission, the spacecraft we have entered here at L1 point. There are the reason why we have entered this particular point at the L1 point as per the need and as per the objective of this space, particularly this mission. If you are not able to understand what is this point, you all have, I will simplify again. In your childhood, you must have played with the magnet, chumbak, magnet, and with the iron. You must have attracted this small piece of the iron with the magnet. This magnet used to be extracted from the radio and other electronic device in our childhoods. So think that you have two magnet 1, magnet 2, and generally when you put in front of this iron, this will be attracted to this magnet. You bring second magnet, and wherever the force will be higher, this iron will go towards that particular magnet. But you will find, if you will start experimenting for the different points and putting this at the different points, you will find a particular point where this force from this magnet and force from this magnet will equate each other, and this iron will move nowhere. This will be the Lagrangian point for this magnet and this iron system. Again, there is the three body. So this, I hope now you are clear with that. There are 5 Lagrangian point. 3 are in the line, L1, L2, L3, and 2 are making the rectangle with the equal sides. You should know one more information. This L1, L2 and L3 are the meta-stable. They are stable, but there is the chances that this point will drift. The spacecraft or the third body placed here could drift toward any one of these two bodies. So stability is not that much, but here there is very less chance that if you will put any third body, they will drift toward any of this two other large body. So L1, L2, L3 is the meta-stable, less stable, but L4 and L5 are the stable. So UPSC can ask this statement. So the question comes in your mind, if these are the stable, why we are not putting for on this point? Why we have sent our Aditya mission at L1? So this is the main reason for sending here. The main reason for sending Aditya here, our spacecraft is here. It is close to the Earth, and there is no chance of the hindrance by the eclipse. You know, eclipse, solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. You will read in the geography that when the moon comes between the sun and earth, there is the solar eclipse, and when the sun comes between the moon and sun, when the earth comes between the moon and sun, then it is known as the lunar eclipse. Okay. We will read all this thing in a very detailed manner in geography, but here just you should know that L1 point is there. We have benefit that it will not hindered by the any eclipse. Second thing is that it has the closeness with the sun, so we can study the sun's atmosphere in a more better manner, more effective manner. L2 is also L2 is there, and here the benefit is that from this position we can study the deep space in much better manner without getting obstruction or some of the hindrance from the sun, because whenever there is the some light at your eyes, generally if you are not able to see something, generally you do like that, you just cover your eyes in your hand, you try to watch. Are you getting the same? Like the earth will be the covering point for this point, and this can study the deeper space in a much better manner and with the meta stability. Okay, let's see a video to get more clarity with respect to the this Lagrangian point.
The Lagrange points. The Lagrange points are places where the forces acting on an object are perfectly balanced. Assume we have an object that orbits the Sun along with the Earth. We're going to use a rotating coordinate system. This rotates at the same speed as the Earth moves. So, in this coordinate system, the Earth doesn't move. Now, let's look at all of the forces that are at work here. To account for the fact that this coordinate system is rotating, we have to add in a centrifugal force that pushes out away from the Sun. Then, we add in the gravitational force of the Sun and the gravitational force of the Earth. This graph shows us the effective potential energy, and it tells us how objects will move. An object whose orbit starts here will slowly drift towards the Sun. An object starting here will slowly drift towards the Earth. And an object starting here will slowly drift away into the outer solar system. But an object won't move if the surface is flat. The surface is flat at 5 points, called the Lagrange points. The first 3 points were discovered by Euler. The remaining 2 were discovered by Lagrange. The last 2 Lagrange points are stable. This means that if an object is slightly off from the point, its orbit will shift slightly, but not too much. The first 3 points are unstable. This means that if an object is just slightly off from the point, it will just move further and further away. Since orbits near the L4, L5 points are stable, objects naturally go there and stay there. All the major planets have their own Lagrange points, and the most massive planet, Jupiter, has thousands of asteroids clustered around its L4 and L5 points. These are called the Trojans. By convention, these asteroids are named after heroes of the Trojan War. The L4 asteroids are named after the Greek warriors, Achilles, Odysseus, Agamemnon. The L5 asteroids are named after the Trojan side, Priam, Paris, etc.
These Trojan asteroids are associated with the L4 and L5 Lagrangian points, and this is the reason why we don't have send our Aditya as the L4 and L5, because there are a lot of asteroids due to the stability of the point. That's why, to avoid any collision, we have placed our Aditya mission spacecraft at the L1 Lagrangian point. Let me again explain this. This L4 and L5 is stable, and whenever during the movement of their natural path, these asteroids, you know what are the asteroids? There are a lot of planetary bodies in the space that revolve around the Sun. And whenever they come here, they generally move towards each other, they collide, they become planet and other body. But whenever they come at this particular point, they remain here for a long time. This Trojan points that's why very important, because here there are a lot of asteroids who are very much old, and they can give the mystery of how the universe evolved. That's why there is the one NASA mission, Lucy. That is for these Trojan asteroid. Particularly it is on the Jupiter, this Lucy mission. You should remember. And you should also remember what are the Trojan asteroid. UPSC can ask this Trojan asteroid because they are also very important because they can give the mystery behind the evolution of the universe. So these are the L4 and L5 point, and this is the reason we don't place Aditya as the L4 and L5 despite they are the stable. L3 we cannot use because they are the behind the earth or behind the sun, and they are known as the they are particularly not visible and they are not that much usable. So yes, what is the halo orbit? Halo orbit is particularly when this Lagrangian point is there. Whenever a spacecraft spacecraft rotate around this particular circle around this L2 Lagrangian point. This is known as the this halo orbit. This video will make it clear that what is the. Let me show. Let me explain that what is the halo point. This is particularly Lagrangian point L2, and this spacecraft that will go will revolve around a circular path. This path will be known as the halo orbit. You will get clarity with help of this particular video clip.
The Sun-Earth L2 point is where Webb's orbit around the Sun is synchronized with Earth's. At this point, 1 million miles from Earth, Webb is free from the thermal influences of the Earth in all eclipses. Additionally, the Sun, Earth, and Moon, the brightest objects in the sky, are hidden by the deployed sun shield, giving Webb a dark, cold, and stable environment to carry out its mission of discovery.
Now I hope that you are clear with the what is Lagrangian point, what is the Trojan asteroid, what are the halo orbit. Now, next important thing that you can know, this atmosphere of Sun and how the structure of this atmosphere is there. Like Sun is here, as the Earth has troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, and exosphere. This Sun also has different sphere. The major sphere are the photosphere. After that, there is chromosphere. And after that, this is the corona. What is visible to us when we see the Sun? We see this photosphere. This is visible, and this corona is visible when there is the solar eclipse. So there is a mystery behind this temperature distribution. The temperature of photosphere is around 5,500 degrees Celsius. Maybe it could vary 1,000 or 2,000, but this is around 5,000. But a major difference is that this corona, the temperature is 10 lakh. Degrees centigrade. So this 10 lakh degrees centigrade, there is so much difference. Can you imagine this is how hot? Like whenever we boil our water at 100 degree centigrade, it start boiling and evaporating. Why there is so much difference? When it is here, it is inner layer, it should have been it should be more hot, but as compared to this is unimaginably hot. Whenever you are near the source of energy, Heat should decrease as you go outer. Means when there is some fire and people are standing here, heat should be here more. As you go further, it should be the cold. But in this case, if you go here, 10 lakh means lot of heat. There is no proper explanation for this. Only now recently we have seen the concept of heat bomb. Heat bomb concept that explain this high degree of the temperature. This heat wave bomb concept is associated with the magnetized wave that comes from the core of the sun, and the plasma in the form of magnetized wave that comes from the core of the sun and explode here at the layer of the corona. So this is the basic explanation that has been given with respect to the heat bomb and the high energy at this particular layer. So this is all about this article. I think we have covered this article in a very very extensive manner. So this is very important because this has been remaining for a in a very intensive manner. So many times that has been covered. So that's why I also covered, so that you could be ready to face any such question that comes from the solar mission Adit and the concept that revolve around sun. Now we will cover this news. Particularly, nothing important about this. Only thing that you should know. This is associated with the Pongal festival, and it has been considered as the traditional part of the society, particularly in the area of the Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. Jallikattu has been also, it was contested in the Supreme Court, and later as it was banned, but later the Tamil Nadu government amended this Prevention of Cruelty Act, and they introduced this traditional as the tradition of the society of the Tamil Nadu, and this was reintroduced, but with a lot of guideline has been provided, like the safety and security of animals and those who tamed them, and also those who are spectators. Next important news that we will cover is this news, particularly with respect to the Kashmiri language. This could be useful for the GS paper 2. It is associated with the 8th schedule, as well as we can use it under the GS paper 1 art and culture, also under the society. Marginalization of some of the linguistic minority. So 8th schedule contains official language. There are now 22 official languages, and state is responsible for the promotion of those languages along with the Hindi. This particularly article is talking about the marginalization of Kashmiri, and only 5% of the people now know they write the script, and this has been gradually declining. So Microsoft and Google has started initiative. By that there will be the option for the translation. What is the state language of the Kashmir? It is the Urdu, but later the Kashmiri has been introduced. To promote this Kashmiri as the state language, there has been initiatives such as the Radio Kashmir and the Jammu and Kashmir Culture Academy that has made the effort. Folk music has been used. Most people think, particularly due to the main reason for the marginalization of this Kashmiri is that the most people think that this language is inferior. For example, many from the Bhojpuri belt, they also hesitate to speak Bhojpuri because they think that Bhojpuri is inferior language. So language is never inferior. The way you take the perceive and the way you promote that matters. It doesn't the language, and each of you should promote your own native language. Now the next important news that we are going to cover is this, particularly with associated with the simultaneous elections that has been so much in the news, and it has been particularly due to the its implementation and the opposition that it is posing a particular threat to the parliamentary system of governance, and that has been caused at the this has been declared as the basic structure of the Indian Constitution by the Supreme Court. Let's see that what is the debate. The debate is that one section is talking about the simultaneous election and talking about the pros. One section is opposing, talking about the cons. So we should balance what is the pros, what is the cons. So is it possible? Yeah, it is possible, but it is very difficult, and practically it is not possible. As per the Indian Constitution, the parliamentary form of government is the basic structure, and this topic has been discussed in the parliament, particularly Constituent Assembly as well, when we were discussing the nature of the Indian state and Indian parliamentary system. So it was finally decided that it will be the parliamentary system that we are going to adopt. So you have to talk both sides, the pros and cons. You can start with the pros whenever the question comes, and there is most probability that UPSC can ask the question. What could be the pros? You can talk pros, that it will save money, particularly the expenditure from government expenditure, government exchequer. First is that. Second is that it will provide a consistency in the governance and the development process. Many times, whenever the election comes, model code of conduct is imposed, and due to that, most of the development work that was needed to initiate is being stopped. Second thing is that, third thing is that politicization. There is always in the periodic manner, whenever there is the election, political party raise so many issues. So it is also reduced if there will be the simultaneous election. The fourth thing is that it will also reduce the disruption in the economy. Economy many times there is the economic activities that are particularly being created hurdle by this continuous election mode. Particularly in economic, here you should be thinking about the free bees that is being announced on a periodic basis by the state, and that's why it is impacting the fiscal deficit as well. So you can bring this thing in your pros. If you will bring this simultaneous election system, all this thing will be stopped. Second is the cons. Cons is that Indian parliamentary system is based on the accountability of the legislature and representative to the people, and periodic election gives particularly chance to the citizens so that they can question, they can hold their representative accountable, that whenever you come to the come and ask for the vote from the citizens will ask what you have done, what are the promise you have done. So a frequent chance for the accountability that is provided by this elections, accountability, this will be gone if we will fix for the one time of election. Second thing is that if you will compare the expenditure on the election, it is around 30,000 crore. That as per the different data, it is around 30, 35, 30. That is the expenditure. But if you go with the budget of India, that is around 40 lakh then crore. So if you will compare, this is very less. Even it is not 0.5% of what is the total budget of 1 year. So think that if this accountability with the periodic election is held, and even if the corruption is prevented for the 2% or the 3%, as compared to this amount is much more than the expenditure that is done. And if you want to bring the accountability democracy, a vibrant democracy, elections give the chance to the citizens. That is your justification point. Other thing that is you can give in your argument to support that the periodic election is not that much bad. As per the debate in the Constituent Assembly, those founding fathers was very clear that what are the pros and cons of the presidential election, what is the pros and cons of the parliamentary system. So they knew that there will be the less stability frequent election as compared to the fixed tenure for the legislature, as we had the option of the presidential system of the US and the parliamentary system of the UK. So we didn't choose for the presidential system that is more stable fixed tenure in the US as compared to the UK, where there is always frequent election. So we preferred accountability over stability. We wanted our citizens to hold this representative accountable to them and to the parliament. So you can give justification that they were knowing that there will be the frequent election despite they choose because they want more accountability. So you can bring all this thing in your cons whenever you are justifying your stance. And in conclusion, you should be also mentioning that there is need of the constitutional amendment and many provision that is needed to be amended. So it is not that much easy. It needs the special majority and also support from the states. Many states are supporting. So these are the example you can give to justify. Other important news is this, particularly with respect to the trafficking, and the conviction rate is very low. It has given that even the conviction rate is less than 5%. So you can give that how much deterrence it is going to create. If the conviction rate is very low, people are not going to worry. They will take this laws and rule and regulation very lightly. So we need to change in the policing system. So you can give the recommendation that government need to implement the Prakash Singh case, very famous case, that is the Prakash Singh case. We will discuss under the police governance, and also justice systems need to be amended, need to be improved, reform. One more news that we can take, GS paper 2. This is with respect to the recent finding how there has been the frequent cases of the sexual abuse into the boarding school of the tribals, and those tribals, those are the first generation learners. Particularly first generation learners means their parents are illiterate and they are the first time joining the schools and colleges. So there has been the very frequent misuse and sexual harassment cases where recently we saw that the 22 cases of the sexual assault has been found in these schools, and particularly those involved were the headmaster, teachers, and other supporting staff. And many cases we have seen that these headmaster, teachers, and the support staff, they were treating these girl's child as the domestic help in their house. You can bring the you can use this issue in your answer. You can also bring the way forward. Way forward, there is the 5 points provided under this news. The government should take toll-free telephone for the lodging complaints, installation of closed circuit television camera that is necessary, putting up complaint box so that there is the chances that wherever any girl student is facing any such sexual harassment, they have a easy access to raise their grievance, and maintaining in and out register so that their movement could be monitored. Institution of the sexual harassment committees also needed, and utmost need that has been also being implemented. A regular health checkup with the pregnancy test for the girls. These are the point you can use as your way forward. Okay. This is a news particularly you can use in GS paper 3 with respect to the environment. This is particularly talking about the oil spill and impact on the migratory birds such as the pelicans. You should search. This is homework for you. You should search all these migratory birds, and you should know what are the area from they migrate, and what are their behavior. So next news that we are going to cover is this: the Red Sea and attack by the Houthis and Somalian pirates that has been remain in the news, and Indian India is facing a unique issue that the cost for the trading, import and export both has increased due to the change in route. This particularly, let me show you the map. So already we have discussed that the attack is here. This is Bab al-Mandab, Yemen is here, Houthi attack is here, and Somalian pirates are also attacking this region. So this region has become a bit insecure. So most of the shipping is taking place this route. So this route is so long. If you avoid this route, this was very short route as compared to this route. So this has increased the cost in the fuel. Second, insurance cost. Third, the delivery time has increased. So there is the chance of wastage due to the spoil and other such thing. So this has created a lot of concern for the Indian government, but as well this is giving a chance for India to show its legitimacy as the regional power if India provides a net security in this area and ensure that such danger is not India is able to handle such threats, such security threats. So it could be show itself as a legitimate regional power. So it is giving opportunity as well as challenge for India. So your answer should be like that. Cause of concern: long route, more fuel, more cost. Second is insurance cost has increased. Third is that wastage has increased because the delivery time has increased. So these are the concern. There is also all this has been covered under this particular news article. Again, this news article is also, we have discussed a lot of with respect to this topic, Islamic State attack in the Iran and killing of near about 100. This article is talking about why these IS is attacking despite being Muslim. They are both from the same community, same religion. So the main cause for this attack rivalry is the Shia and Sunni community. That is rivalry. That is the difference. These IS associate themselves with the Sunni Salafi jihadists, and they consider Shia as illegitimate, and also they use very derogatory word for these Shias, and they consider that they were the person they rejected the first three caliph. So you should be clear about what is the difference between Shia and Sunni. Particularly there was when after the Muhammad Paighambar Sahab, there was the dispute with respect to who will succeed after the Muhammad Sahab. So one community wanted a succession in the family line, other wanted succession with the election. Particularly the last wife of Paighambar Muhammad Sahab was Aisha, and her father was, I think, Abu Bakr, if I am not, please check and confirm. I could be a bit not that much confirmed, but just he was the father. And so Aisha wanted her father to be the successor. But there was also dispute. The son-in-law was also contesting for the succession. So one who followed the succession line with the family line of the Paigambar Sahab means they recognize the son-in-law as the successor. So they were called as Sia on the succession line, family line succession line. And those who followed the election line, election in the elections, Abu Bakr was elected as the successor because the last wife of the Paigambar Sahab, Aisha, has a good dominance on the followers of the Paigambar Sahab, and Paigambar Sahab gave importance to his last wife. So that's why. So this is the main difference on the following the succession. One adopted other line, other adopted other line. So I am not that much clear. You should get clear. If there is some deviation, just let me know. You should also consider this Hazara Shia. They belong from the Afghanistan. You should consider. UPSC can ask Hazara belong to which region, as we have seen. You should also be considered about the Takfiris. Iran consider this IS as the Takfiris, those who excommunicate fellow Muslims and mostly use violence against them. Means they kill their own brothers, so they are called as Takfiris. This word is important. You should also know where this Kurdish Peshmerga militia and this community belong. This particular community belong from the border area of the Iran, Turkey, Iraq and Syria. Let me show you so it will be clear. This is the Kurdish area. This is the Iranian border area. This is the Iraq border area, Iran, Iraq. They also exist in the Armenia, Turkey, and this is the Syria. So you should consider that they are not confined to the single nation, this Kurdish community, and they are the tribal people. Some of them belong from the Islam community like the Sunni Islam. Next paragraph is talking about the why this US, how the US and Iran, this Hezbollah is supported by the Iran, and they are against they are active in the Lebanon. So here it is interesting that despite the US is anti-Iran, but they were also fighting against the IS because IS declared as US as their main target, main jihad against the US. That's why here. But despite US fought against IS, there was internal inherent rivalry with the Iran, and yes, even the Qasem Soleimani, who was against fighting hero in fighting against the IS, but US declared him as the terrorist, and later he was killed by the order of Trump, President Trump. Next topic related to the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. Again, this is in the news and we already have discussed this. This is associated with the hit and run case. Main issue with this is that the punishment that was previous was for the 2 years and the fine. Now it has been increased to the 10 years. That's why those drivers community, they are considering it a very harsh, and they are talking that we earn just 10,000, 15,000, how we could pay for that much, and this will also increase the harassment by the police against them. They are vulnerable community. So instead of the government should focus on the other area that could impact in a much better manner, like the traffic violation and overloading of the truck, a check on the movement of the tractor trolley on the road, also implementation of the working hours, because these drivers works for the lot of hours, and that is also resulted in the truck accident. All this is regulated by the Motor Transport Workers Act. This particularly the cap on the working hour. Here the fact is provided how much road accident has been in the 2022, there has been the 1,70,000, near about 1,70,000 death due to the truck accident. So the in conclusion, you can write that the government need a comprehensive solution. They should work on the improvement of the road, engineering in the road, also traffic signaling, and also the condition of the regulation of the road, as there are many cases where the cycle and pedestrians, they also comes on the main highway road where the pedestrian is not available. So government should work on this area instead of making the law so harsh that it's become a tool to harass these drivers by the police. So this is all about today's newspaper. We hope that we have covered most of the relevant area, and here I would like to conclude my session. Thank you for joining the session. All the best. We will meet again tomorrow. Thank you.